What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Clams. I'm Will, and I'm here on Long Island, the North Shore. We are hiking down to the beach. I got my rod and a couple other things. We're hiking down to the beach to actually look for clams. It's low tide, and I'm going to go digging around and see if I could come up with some clams. If we see any fish busting, that's why I got my rod. Throw it out there to them, but the main mission today is clams. Let's go. I think one of the other cool things about this spot is you're walking down to the beach. I know I said hiking. It's not really a hike, it's more of a walk. But you're walking through the woods, and the chances of possibly also finding mushrooms is pretty good. Little late in the season or early in the season, depending on how you look at it. So I don't have my my hopes up for a mushroom, but I am keeping an eye out on all of these down trees to see if I spot any telltale signs. Fingers crossed, maybe there's a chicken of the woods or chanterelle hanging out somewhere, but not likely this time of year. So I'm almost at the water. The water's right there, but I see something in there. Let's go take a look. It looks, I can't tell. It looks like, if it is, it looks like a giant chicken of the woods. But like I said, it's a little late in the season, so. Oh, there goes a deer. Oh my gosh. Yes, look at the size of that mushroom. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What? Oh my gosh. Okay, that is a huge chicken of the woods. Holy cow. Holy cow. I was not expecting that. And it is in great shape. It is in great shape. Okay. You might think through the magic of editing, I knew that I was going to find a mushroom, so I went back and said, okay, we might find a mushroom. No, I'm almost at the water, and I just saw the telltale orange, and I was like, please let it be, please. And that is that's one of the most beautiful chicken of the woods I have ever seen in my life. Holy cow. All right, we are going to harvest that and do something with it. I'm beside myself right now. I'm so excited. It's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Oh, what a find. So I'm going to leave that mushroom there while we go look for, oh, there's someone fishing. While we go look for clams. But I just want to go over mushroom foraging. One, do it at your own risk. I only go after mushrooms that don't have a look-alike, that cannot be mistaken for anything else. Chicken of the woods, that mushroom is one of those mushrooms. It's a polypore. I'll show you later, but underneath it does not have gills. It has little dots. So polypores tend, I think it's safe to say, in the polypore family, there's like one that can make you sick. That's it. So you're pretty safe with that, and there is nothing that looks like a chicken of the woods. So if you find one, it's fair game. With that said, definitely do your research and just try to study up as much as possible and look into mushrooms like chanterelles, chicken of the woods, things that do not have any kind of poisonous look-alike. All right, let's head out. I mean, the pressure's off. We already got a meal waiting on that log there, but you know what would go really good with it? Some clams. So that's what we're on the hunt for. So I'm thinking for that mushroom, we might make a, I don't want to say ramen because I'm not going to make it completely correctly the way that ramen's supposed to be made, but we might use ramen noodles. But I'm going to see if I can get the majority of my ingredients from our beachfront here. And I do see, let me put this down and show you. We're gonna grab some seaweed, but in particular, this red stuff right here. So I think on our way out, we're gonna grab a bunch of this to add to our soup, and we'll see what else we can find. So I've been walking around, digging, got my little rake here. Not coming up with much, but as I'm walking, I just saw water spout shoot out right here. So getting tricked by all these rocks. Well, I saw the little water spout come out, but not having much luck. We might be sticking to just that mushroom, but I'm gonna keep going on. We got another hour of low tide. And here on Long Island, you don't need for recreational clam harvesting, you don't need a permit. You're allowed 100. And they just got to be 1 inch at the hinge. So those odds, the regulations are on our side. We just need to find the clams, which they're probably about 200 feet out that way. But gonna keep digging. Oh man. All right, so these are soft shell clams. We're allowed to take these as well, and you're allowed, I'm getting lit up by the flies. You are allowed half a bushel of these. You also do not need a permit. We now have 2. Didn't break the shell on them, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm pretty excited right now. This is awesome. I was not expecting to find soft shell, so I'm gonna keep digging in this area in hopes that they're kind of grouped together. But it's, you know, muddy, rocky. We'll see. We will keep digging. So I was right. These flies. I was right in seeing that that water spout shoot out. But we got another guy here. All right. That is full of mud. Oh, that's a good one. Full of mud. Getting tricked. But we seem to be in the right area. All right, we got 3. So another thing that I want to point out, so these guys, the soft shell clams have to be 1.5 inches in length. So technically this guy is good to go. This guy is not. So we're gonna put him back. And then the other thing is that I'm not just gonna leave this pothole here. We're gonna fill this in and then move on down the beach. You know what? We'll throw this guy back. We'll put him back in the hole here. So the tide is coming in pretty quick. I think we are going to take our 4 and run. This is hands down the best morning I've ever had coastal foraging. I did not expect to find that mushroom, and had that little steamer not siphoned its water, I wouldn't have found it. Because I dug probably in about, oh Lord, maybe 15, 20 different spots and found nothing. And I saw that water spout and we got our 4. It's not many, but it's enough to flavor a broth, that's for sure. Okay, you ready? You ready for how crazy I am? So we went looking for the clams, and I didn't throw a lure out at all. I saw no fish, and the couple guys fishing said that they were getting really small porgy, but this is what I did here. Out of fear that somebody else would see my mushroom, so I covered it in leaves. But how funny is this? Check this out. Look at that one beam of light. It's probably what helped it bloom. But yeah, so if you were on the trail back here and you looked over here, the way that light is hitting right there, you would see that big orange cluster. So covered it with leaves to protect our find. So I'm gonna pull these guys off and we'll head to the house. Okay, so dropped off the mushroom and the clams at the house. By the way, this is the first time that we foraged for and collected clams on the channel, so we will officially, that's it, after 2 years of having the channel, we are officially cooking with clams. For those of you who are new to the channel, my nickname is Clams, and that's what cooking with clams comes from. I know it can get confusing sometimes. Okay, enough of that. Anyway, we are headed back to the shoreline because as I was digging, underneath all those rocks are Asian shore crabs. They're kind of like Asian green crabs. They're an invasive species, tiny little crabs, and what they offer is a lot of flavor for a broth. So we have our seaweed, we have our mushrooms from the woods right here, we have our clams, and now I'm going to try to collect a bunch of those shore crabs to also fortify our broth. And I think what we're going to make, I got to stop by the market and see what they have, but I think we are going to make an udon soup. I haven't cooked with udon noodles on the channel, so I'd like to do that. So let's get back down to the water, see if we can grab some of those crabs. The only problem is that the tide is now coming in, so it makes it a little bit tricky, but I'm sure that we can come up with a couple. I have just a cup here. You pick up the rock and scoop them up. They're fast though. Oh, there's a deer. There's a deer. This is the best day ever. This really is. I don't know. It's a pretty good day. All right, see you at the shoreline. small. Oh, there's a big one. All right, we got one. It might actually be a green crab. Not totally sure. It's either a short crab or a green crab, but either way, he is invasive, so he is coming with us. All right, we got about 10 more to go. So with the tide coming in, it is definitely trickier to find these guys because they all like hanging out around there. But yeah, earlier they were everywhere. I mean everywhere. Sorry, buddy, you're coming with me. I know you don't think you are, but you are. All right. We got two. No! All this for one little crab. All right. Oop. There we go. No, no. Losing the ones we have. Come on. Oop. Oh man. All right. All right, I just saw a juicy one under here. That's not him. Ah, there he is. No! Ah! We got him. We got him. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Got him. Got him. Oh, oh. Ah, ah. Got him, got him. Got him. Ay, ay, ay. All right, we're doing some damage. Not the best crab catcher, that's for sure. Also, probably should have brought a little net or something, would have made it a lot easier. But we got probably about 15, 20 in there, which is perfect for our broth. Ready to go back to the kitchen. That's a juicy one. There's a few pushed right in there. But we're getting them. We're not letting that guy go. There you go. And your friends. All right. So I have stuff here for the stock. I have some scallions, some onion, garlic, a couple of red peppers, and this is daikon or Asian radish. And then, of course, these gorgeous chicken of the woods mushrooms. I'm going to show you real quick one way to clean them and get any dirt off them. Also, it wouldn't be a day in Long Island without someone doing landscaping at all hours, constantly, every day of the week. But okay, the easiest way I find to clean them is with a paintbrush. And you just go through, and all this stuff we're actually going to cut off. But so that's pretty dirty, right? But look at that. I don't like washing them, because then you run the risk of them getting kind of mushy and moldy. And a paper towel doesn't always cut it, but the paintbrush you can get in all the little crevices there. All nice and clean. And then we are going to saute some of these and put them on top of our udon, but then we're going to use some of the bases for the broth. So I'm going to cut so the pieces I'm going to use on top, I'm going to put aside. Just give a little extra brush there. If you can believe it, after I grabbed this, I was walking past someone and gave them more than half. And I still have all of this. Luckily, chicken of the woods freezes really, really well. So I think we'll freeze some of this. So any edges that don't look great, just gonna cut them off. And then a lot of this is going to be in our stock, so I'm not being too thorough here or picky. I'm cutting off a lot because we have so much. Another thing is towards the base. This part can get a little bit woody, the stem, and then the more you cook it, that can kind of dry out and be a little bit unpleasant, so we'll get rid of that. The rest of this I'll use for broth. Put this. Alright, so everything for our broth is going in there. Alright, I have scallions. I'm just gonna cut off the roots, and then we are going to use pretty much up to the green there. These are red finger peppers. We're not going to chop them up. We're just going to put a couple of holes in them. And then 2 yellow onion. Just like that, into the bowl. And pretty much half a head of garlic here. Again, take off the roots, and everything else is going in. We can split that just to make sure that that garlic flavor gets in there. And the reason I take the roots off is because if there's dirt in there, that can get into our stock. But I leave the skin on because the skin, I say this a lot, but in case you're new to the channel, skin adds a lot of flavor to the broth and lends a really nice deep golden brown color. And then our radish, I'm gonna actually keep this side to go on top of our soup, and then this side is going to go into the stock. let's head inside and get the stock ready. All right, hopefully, I have the windows open, so hopefully you can still hear the leaf blowers from outside, just so that we have continuity. But we're gonna put the pan on medium-high heat and add everything we cut up outside. And we're gonna wait for that to start to heat up. Give it a little bit of a stir, a little bit of salt, and then we'll add our crabs and seaweed. And then to help this along, I have a little bit of sea salt. And that'll help all these veg release some of their moisture. So now I'm gonna add our seaweed. We have our green crab. Throw the lid on. Gonna bring that up to a boil, then down to a simmer and let it ride for about an hour or so. I actually forgot one thing. I do have some kombu, which is dried kelp. Put that in as well. I'm gonna add just a dash of rice vinegar. So while the broth is cooking down, I peeled the other part of that radish and then just cut one side off, and we're gonna cut little slices, and these will go on top of our udon. And then our mushroom, what I want to do with that is really just tear it into pieces about that big, and we're going to saute it real quick. Alright, so I didn't forget, we have our steamers. So we're going to put those just right on top. Just like that. Lid back on. And we'll grab those in about 10 minutes. Let's take a look at our clams. It's been 5 minutes. Yeah, I had a feeling they wouldn't need the full 10 because they're sitting in the water there. So they cooked pretty quickly. Okay, we're gonna pull this guy out. Okay, to clean these guys, I was gonna chop them up, but you know what? I think I'm gonna leave them whole. It's a nice bite. It's a lot of liquid that's going back into the stew. Yeah, I'm gonna leave them whole. I'm not gonna chop them up. So this smells ready. So we are gonna pull everything out and strain our broth and then return it to the oven and get our mushrooms ready. So I'm bringing up water to boil for our udon noodles, and this is our strained broth. That is a very pretty color. It probably just looks brown on there, but it is very, very pretty. Let's taste that and see if it needs any seasoning at all. But yeah, it really is. It's like a golden color. Not sure if that translates there, but wow. That's delicious. Little bit of spice from the chilies, but not just a little bit warm. Yeah, sweetness from the clams, sweetness and saltiness from the crabs. The sea, that is, okay. That's perfect. Let's move forward. Okay, I moved the water over here for our soba noodles because I want to actually saute the mushrooms now. So I've got this pan, put that on medium-high heat. A little bit of salt and a little bit of cracked black pepper. Now, the chicken of the woods mushrooms are a little more woody and a little bit less. There's not a lot of moisture to them, so they can dry out pretty easily. So I got the brown butter going on there. Just want them to get a little bit hot, and then we're going to add a little bit of water to this pan to cook them down. And then once that water evaporates, we'll let them cook off just a little bit more to brown up, and they'll be good to go. All right, that water is pretty much evaporated, so now I'm gonna add a fresh pat of butter. And they're almost done now. Chicken of the woods is a mushroom that you want to cook thoroughly. It can bother people's stomachs if you don't. Now our water is boiling over here. Oh yeah, that's looking good. And our udon will take about 10 minutes. So I'm going to pull these off and put them aside. So another thing that I'm going to cook off is just a little bit of grapeseed oil. And this will cook very, very fast. This is pea shoots, and they're absolutely amazing. They taste like fresh peas. You don't do much to them. You can eat them raw. So we're just gonna throw them in. A little bit of garlic salt. And a little bit of water to steam them. And all we're doing is wilting those. About another minute, if that. That's it. Those are good to go. If you've never had these, they are absolutely incredible. Really sweet. The stems still have a little bit of crunch to them, but they are very good on their own, so you just have to do minimal preparation with them. Okay, udon is finished. Everything is off. Strain this and let's plate up. Have my radish. Then I did two soft-boiled eggs earlier, so these are just 5 minutes. That was it. Brought to a boil and then 5 minutes. but not least, our broth. And this is actually rice seasoning, but it's dried kimchi. So a little bit of that. So there you go. I feel like that's a better shot. No, let me see your reaction here. You guys know Mama Clams.
Hi. Alright. Oh, that looks lovely. I don't know where to begin. I guess I'll sit down.
Yeah.
Alright.
So you have steamers, the chicken of the woods. There's udon noodles, and then the broth from those crabs, seaweed, and a bunch of other stuff. You might need a fork to pick up the noodles there.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd get a little bit of the broth with the clam. I'm going in.
Broth has a nice flavor.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit spicy.
Just a tiny bit, yeah.
Yeah, but just enough, yeah.
Steamers are good. Steamers are sweet. little
Very nice.
Gritty, but did you get grit in yours or no?
No.
Oh, never mind.
I'm kind of sorry that I saw them alive.
The
well.
steamers? Come on. Taste the broth on its own, and that's a radish. That's daikon. But the broth is light, but a lot of flavor.
Oh, yeah. Kind of tingly going down, but a very, very nice flavor. Subtle, but very nice.
Well, the tingly part's the poisonous mushroom. That's the...
Okay.
Ooh, that's nice. And the mushrooms...
They were colorful enough before they were cooked, but now they're vibrant.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. We're gonna eat and enjoy this. This was a great way to spend the morning, and now it's evening. It was an all-day affair. Thanks a lot for coming along, and I will see you on the next one.